Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I thought I'd do a video on something that I saw on Facebook. Someone sent me that I thought was pretty cool, and I'm going to modify it slightly because it said, I didn't always know what I wanted to do, but I knew the kind of woman I wanted to be. And that's fine if you're a woman. You know, I think that's a fine quote, but I'm going to change the quote to say I didn't always know what I wanted to do, but I knew the kind of person or man I wanted to be for you men out there. You fill in the blank, whatever you are. You know, if you're a porcupine, then you could decide what kind of porcupine you wanted to be, or a squirrel or something like that. I don't know why I'm thinking about rodents, but that's what I'm thinking about. So I want to talk about this because I think this is interesting. This concept of not knowing what you want to do, but knowing the kind of person that you want to be. And I think this is something that not enough people think about. So many people are focused on this question of what should they do, what do they want to do, instead of what they want to be. And thinking about what you want to be is so much more powerful because that's going to inform what you do, right? If your goal in life is to do something, there's a couple of problems with that, right? One of them is if you make the wrong choice and you're doing the wrong thing, you're living the wrong life, it's a big tragedy. The second one is that if something changes and you can no longer, quote, do something, your identity is wrapped in that, and that can cause a whole host of problems. I think my point is this, is that it's like if you're focusing on what you want to do. And I get this all the time. A lot of people ask me questions on what should they do, what technology should they do, what kind of career paths should they go down. And I think those are good questions to ask yourself. But I think more importantly, and really what the purpose of this channel is, what I'm really doing here with Simple Programmer on the YouTube channel, is I'm trying to help you figure out who you want to be. What kind of person do you want to be? For you men out there, what kind of man do you want to be? That's a question I ask myself all the time, is what kind of man do I want to be? And that is the guiding factor that tells me what am I going to do. And that's really the goal, I think, in life, is because, you know, you can do a lot of stuff and you can accomplish a lot of things. You can have a lot of success and have a lot of money. I did this video on what it's like to have $1 million, or when I earned my first $1 million. You can check that out, where I talk a lot about that there. But you can have that kind of external success in doing things. And if you haven't become who you want to become, then it's going to be an empty victory, right? And so I have really shifted my focus in life, and I have really seen the value of changing to what do I want to become, right? And this is, if you listen to my story before when I talked about it, I think I talked about this in the Xamarin talk I did, if you want to check that out. But I talked about the idea that my life really changed. It really switched directions. I really got on the path that I'm on now when I started asking that question, when I basically started looking at, what do I want to be? Who do I want to become? And I started acting as if, I started pretending like I was that person, and then I eventually became that person. So I think it's really, really powerful to shift that question. The kind of questions that you ask yourself really determine the kind of life that you have. And when you're asking yourself the wrong questions, you go down the wrong path. So if you're constantly worried about what you want to do or what should you do, that's the wrong question asked. Again, I talk about a lot of times how principles is what should guide us, not the actual tactics. And when you think on a principle level, and that's what I try to talk about a lot on this channel, is the higher level principles. When you know the principles, right? When you know what's behind everything, then the actual tactics and the actual implementation becomes a lot easier. Whereas if you just memorize implementation and tactics and you're just concerned with that, then when the situation changes, the context changes, the thing no longer applies. So the same is just at the higher level of life. If you're focused on what kind of person, what kind of man, what kind of woman do you want to become, that's going to really, really help you to decide what you should do. Because there's a huge difference between if you want to become someone who is let's say, generous, like is magnanimous, is known for generosity. what are you going to do? What kind of actions are you going to take? What kind of things are you going to do? If you want to become wise, right, what kind of actions are you going to take? What kind of things are you going to do? What kind of jobs are you going to take? What kind of direction are you going to take in your life, right? If you have the idea of who you want to become and this vision of yourself of who you want to become, it's going to inform what you do, right? It's going to determine if you're going to go to the gym and lift weights or go running or care about your physical fitness and your appearance or your exercise or not, right? It's going to determine a lot of those things. So I would really emphasize, I'd really suggest that instead of asking that question, like I said, of what do you want to do all the time? And there's lots of different variations of this question, but think about who you want to become. That's the key. That's the thing that's going to really set the direction for your life. And when you have that vision of who you want to become, what you need to do to get there is going to be obvious. What you need to do or what you should do in life is going to become much more obvious because you're going to have the higher level path that you're going to follow. So that's all I got to say about that. I just thought this was an interesting concept, just something to drop on you to think about today as you're trying to make decisions in your life. Shift up to the higher level, say, who do I want to become rather than what do I want to do? And a lot of times the do will be solved for you. All right. If you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below. If you want to get like notifications every time that I release a video, click that bell and you'll find out as soon as I release a video. I know YouTube sometimes hides some of the new videos that come out. It's messed up, but just click the bell if you really want to become a super subscriber. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.